What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. Since I'm finally posting more long form content again because I'm officially on my started prep for my next bodybuilding show, which should be sometime in August or July. I haven't picked out the exact date yet, but I thought that I would go back and just sort of take as many tips that I could give from basically my first show that I ever did and relay those onto you guys. So for those of you who don't know, for those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Brandon Clark. I am a bodybuilding competitor in the MPC. I am a natural athlete, so I do not use any sort of performance enhancing drugs, although I compete in a federation where using those is totally legal. Last competition, I was able to get first place in classic physique, and not only my division, but I was able to take home the overall classic championship trophy, which, as you can kind of see, is that battle axe behind me. But so I'm decent when it comes to bodybuilding, especially for just sort of getting started. I had done one previous show prior to that one, and I just wanted to go over a couple of the tips that I would seriously recommend people take into consideration if their goal is to compete in a bodybuilding show for the first time, or maybe it's your first couple times competing, because the truth is there's a lot to learn, and if you don't have a coach, which I would definitely recommend getting a coach. I've started coaching bodybuilding competitors to their first shows, and it just seems like so many people are coming into it nowadays just having absolutely no idea what to do. Like they legitimately, all they know is that they need to get lean for stage, and that's literally all that they know. So if you are in that state, if you don't really know what you're doing, I would say that a coach is a great investment. I personally do coaching, like I mentioned. You can go to brandonclarkfitness.com and submit an application for my personal training / online coaching. So basically what I wanted to do is run over my top 10 tips for beginners when it comes to their first competition. Now, these are all things that I really wish that I had known, and these are things that can change the whole course of your prep. So if you are a first-time competitor, I seriously recommend staying till the end of the video. If you guys enjoy this type of content, the competitive more side of content, be sure to give this video a like and drop a comment down below so that I will do more of these videos in the future. All right, so number one, when it comes to my tips for first-time competitors, diet longer. That is going to be my first tip for just about everyone, because the truth is you have way more body fat to lose than you think. Now, you might think right now, yeah, I'm probably somewhere around 15% body fat. I'd probably be, super shredded around this weight. No, you need to subtract 10 more pounds off of what you think you actually need to lose. When it comes to getting stage lean, if you actually want to get shredded and blow away the competition, you need to lose pretty much 10 pounds more than you think that you're going to lose. Now, that is from my experience with people coming to me saying, hey, I think I'd be shredded around this body, or around this, weight, and I tell them subtract 10 pounds from that. There's no way you're gonna be stage lean at that point, because when you actually start getting down there, when you actually start getting below 7% body fat, people just, they have no idea how much more fat that they actually need to lose. So that's going to be my tip number one, is diet longer. I would seriously recommend about a 15-week prep minimum for most people who are starting from like an average body fat percentage. If you're starting from like 10 to 12%, what you think is 10 to 12% body fat, you have great vascularity, you can already see your abs, then you can go less than 15 weeks long. But I would seriously recommend upwards of 12 to 15 weeks if you are coming from somewhere you think around 15% body fat, because like I said, there is always more to lose. Number two is going to be try to be stage lean 1 to 2 weeks out from your show. Now, this is something that I really wish somebody had told me for my first show, because the truth was I thought that you dieted all the way into a show. I thought that up until pretty much the day that you stepped on stage, you were supposed to be dieting. You're supposed to be trying to get as lean as possible. That is not the case at all. You want to reach your ideal body fat percentage. You want to be completely stage lean, shredded, sub like 5% body fat if you can. I would say starting 2 weeks out from your show. 1 week is still fantastic, but if you are going into your peak week with still more fat to lose, that is not an optimum situation, because the truth is you really, really want to be able to bump your calories up to your caloric maintenance or even above your caloric maintenance, because basically when you're cutting, you reach these really, really depleted phases where you are on very, very low carbs, you're on very, very low calories, your physique looks like crap because your muscles are just shrunk, like there's no water in them, there's no glycogen at all. When you get down to those really, really low body fat percentages and you're at that very, very depleted state, sometimes you need a lot of food to pull yourself out of that and ultimately bring your physique back to life, refill the glycogen stores, and make you look insane. Because the truth is, you can look absolutely incredible when you are lean, but it is going to depend on your ability to peak and your ability to max out your glycogen stores. So, like I said, be stage lean 1 to 2 weeks out from your show as best as possible, because the truth is you want to use those last 2 weeks to play with your peak, as I call it, which pretty much means increase calories for some days and see if you wake up the following morning, you know, full and shredded and vascular, because the truth is when you're at that very end point, you're going to be waking up extremely depleted and feeling flat, and you don't want to be like that going into the show. You want to have plenty of time to practice peaking for your show. So number 3 is going to be no refeeds or diet breaks unless you are extremely ahead of schedule. Because the truth is, when it comes to competition prep, people are almost always further behind than they think. If you are absolutely shredded and you are still 6 weeks out, that is a totally fine situation to start practicing your peak, starting implementing refeeds, and maybe even some sort of diet break week where you have a full span of time, more than 4 days, where you are back up at your caloric maintenance, trying to restore your thyroid levels, you know, giving your body a break. That is totally fine. But the truth is, nobody is ahead of schedule. Very, very few people are ahead of schedule when it comes to their bodybuilding prep. So plenty of people will be like, okay, I hit this weight that I'm supposed to, I'm gonna go do a refeed, or I'm gonna do a diet break for the next couple days, I'm gonna eat some more calories because I wanna fill back out. Don't do that. Do not make that mistake. That is precious time that you are wasting, that you could be in a deficit. Save that period of time for the end. Be 2 weeks ahead of schedule and practice refilling your glycogen stores around that time. Do not give yourself extra refeeds when you do not need them. That is a massive, massive setback in progress. Number 4 is going to be no fantasizing about the food you are going to eat after the show, no watching food porn videos or following food porn accounts on Instagram. Block all of that stuff, get it out of your head. When I deal with competitors, I find that a lot of them have the tendency to do this starting around 6 to 8 weeks out, because the truth is you are so hungry sometimes. You know, it depends. Some people will get really, really hungry starting 3 to 4 weeks out. Some people will be hungry starting 10 weeks out. It depends on, you know, how you're prepping for the show. It depends on who your coach is. It depends on what approach you're taking. But the truth is, at some point, you're going to be getting extremely hungry. And if what you like to do is watch food videos in order to entertain yourself, you are setting yourself up for a post-contest rebound failure. Because the truth is, so many people finish their show, I'm sure you guys have seen this, they finish their show and they balloon up. They gain 20 to 30 pounds in a couple days. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's not healthy at all. It really screws over your metabolism, shoots your blood pressure through the roof. It's just absolutely terrible for you and your mental state. I cannot tell you how much putting on 20 to 30 pounds in a couple days post-show will screw with your head. So When it comes to food porn, cut it all out. Don't let yourself watch those videos. Don't let yourself fantasize about what you're going to eat after the show. Just cut it all out. Don't think about food. Don't let yourself fantasize about it. And you have to be very, very active about that one because it's definitely a temptation a lot of people deal with. Number 5. This one is extremely tough, but no negative words while you are on your cut. I can't wait till this cut is over. Like, I can't wait to eat all of this food. I can't wait till I'm finally done. I can eat normal again. I can go back to bulking. Like, all of these things are things that I'm sure you've heard people say while they're in their cut. Cut out this type of language. You do not need it in your life. Competition prep is suffering that you have chosen to endure. It is self-inflicted suffering. It is self-inflicted starvation. You are the one that chose to put yourself in this position, and I don't want to hear any sort of complaining about it. That's the truth. I limit this complaining on all of my competitors because you have to check yourself, because the truth is that the show day does not represent the end of the journey. I want to say that again. The show day does not represent the end of your bodybuilding competition prep journey. If anything, it's like 2/3 the way through. Because the truth is, after you finish your show prep, your hormones, even if you're natural, are all over the place. Your body, the fatigue is high. Your cortisol levels are probably extremely high. You need to be very, very careful with food. And you need to take a long time to reverse diet out of that extremely depleted, excessively fatigued state. And that takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of self-control and discipline to slowly implement calories back into your diet like you should. Because once again, we don't want any of these 20 to 30 pound rebounds right after your show. So cut out all that negative talk. I can't wait to be done with this. I can't wait till it's over. That's not helping you at all. You need to start creating a healthy mindset so that by the time that you get to the end, you are set up for success. Or after you finish your show, you are set up for success over the next couple weeks. Because man, oh man, I tell you, everybody screws that one up. So no negative words. Make sure you are really shredded to the bone before you start the carb up process. So this is really, really important because a lot of people, you'll hear a lot of people when somebody goes up on stage, they're like, oh, he spilled over. He spilled over. And that's usually something, a term that refers to somebody eating too much carbs or drinking too much water, and they go up on stage and they look bloated, and you can tell that they have water underneath their skin. It's hiding striations. It's hiding their vascularity. You don't want that at all, but the truth is that 90% of the time when people say, oh, that guy is spilled over, he's not spilled over. He didn't actually carb up too hard. He didn't actually drink too much water. What he did is he just didn't diet hard enough. He's fat. He's fat on stage, okay? So when it comes to your competition prep, you want to be bone dry. You want to be skinned out lean, because the truth is, when it comes to the carb up process, increasing your carbs and your overall calories going into the show to grow back into your physique, to help your physique come back to life, you really are going to need to be shredded, because the more fat that you have, the more the water and the carb up process won't work. And in fact, it will make you look worse. Let me say that again. The carb up process will make you look worse if you are still fat on stage. If you are in contest shape and you are actually bone dry shredded, you can get away with a lot more when it comes to carbing up and your water intake, because the truth is the water doesn't really have anywhere to go. When you're absolutely shredded, that water can't store in your fat stores because you have so little of it. So it just, you just urinate it out. So when it comes to show prep, be bone dry. All right, number 7, for 2 weeks leading up to your show, train at the same time of day that you will be going up on stage. You will want to get used to the feeling around that time of day. Your body will want to get into the rhythm of pumping up around that time of day. Now, I wish somebody had told me this one earlier too, because the truth is you're gonna be stepping on stage at a certain time of day, whether it's 10 o'clock in the morning, whether it's 12 o'clock, noon, whether it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know when your show time is, but have a rough estimate of when you will be going up on stage and train at that time every single day leading up to the show for, I would say, 2 weeks. 1 week minimum, you want to be training every single day at that specific time, because basically what you'll notice is that when you wake up in the morning, you have that super depleted state, and it takes you a while to fill out your glycogen stores throughout the day. And so you want your body to be used to being full, fully loaded with glycogen and carbs, and you've had plenty of carbs and plenty of water by the time it comes to step on stage. A lot of people will train at night. When you're training at night, you have the whole day to fill up your glycogen stores. When you're going on stage at 10 o'clock in the morning, if you've normally been training at night, your body's not going to be used to being full at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I really recommend training at that same time of day and figuring out how you're going to peak properly at that time. All right, number 8 is going to be bring a scale with you everywhere you go the last 2 weeks leading up to your show. Because if you are in contest shape, what you are going to want to do is you're going to want to play with your peak. And when you play with your peak, you're going to be in the gym training around the same time, as your pump workout is supposed to be on the day of your competition. So what you want to have is you want to have access to a scale, because throughout the day, you are going to look in the mirror and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I look insane right now. Or you're gonna be working out at a specific time of day. If you're working out at the same time of day as your competition like you're supposed to, if you're like, oh my gosh, this workout is incredible, my pump is crazy, I have a combination of the shreds and I'm full, I'm filled out to the max. I want you to go to the locker room as soon as you see that. I want you to step on the scale and I want you to see how much you weigh. Because the truth is, as soon as you get that number of how much you weigh when you are filled out, you're a combination of filled out and bone dry shredded, that is the look that you are going to try to replicate. And that is the weight on the scale that you can be chasing come show day. Does that make sense? So on the morning of the show, if you are prepping, you're eating your food in the morning, you're drinking your water, which we'll talk about a little bit later, you want to have a goal weight that you can shoot for. And what better goal weight to shoot for than the same exact weight of that workout, a week ago where you stepped on the scale and you looked absolutely insane. You want to have a good idea of what weight your body needs to be at, where it is a combination of both shredded and full. So carry around a scale with you, and when you hit that peak, take a screenshot. Take a screenshot of that weight and use it as a marker. Number 9, fatigue management should be top priority in the last 6 to 8 weeks of prep. You should be hyper-focused on recovery and trying to do everything you can to make sure your performance in the gym is maintaining. You should be getting plenty of sleep, and you should be getting rid of total volume of your workouts as fatigue sets in and recovery declines. So you'll notice that you start getting more tired just because you don't have enough food, you don't recover as well. You need to start monitoring these things a lot more closely. Feel free to decrease the time that you are in the gym every single day, as long as you are trying to keep the performance of your working sets up to par. I hope that makes sense. I always thought that I needed to keep my training, I always thought that I needed to keep training my ass off, especially the couple weeks leading up to show, because I'm like, I'm gonna lose this muscle if I don't train my absolute ass off. So my workouts got longer. I started getting more fatigued. I dug myself into a hole. You do not need to do that. In order to maintain the muscle that you have, it requires less of a stimulus than was needed to build that muscle. So you can decrease your total volume, still try to provide adequate stimulus to maintain it, but that means that you can decrease the length of your workouts and decrease your total volume. You don't need to be in the gym for an extremely long time. Your body needs to recover properly, and if it needs extra rest days, take them. If it needs extra rest days, take them. If you are super sore when it's time to hit a body part again, take an extra rest day. Number 10. Now this one is going to be the one that I really try to drive home. Do not cut your water. So many people make this mistake because they've seen the Henry Cavill video where he talks about how he titrated water off leading up to his shirtless role in The Witcher. And pretty much, I can tell you right now that that is one of the stupidest things that you can do. A lot of people cut water before their competition because they want to lose the subcutaneous water, you know, the water that's beneath their skin. But what ends up happening is they end up coming out super flat on stage. And when you are flat, you look fat because the muscle isn't pressing up against the skin. It's not showing off vascularity. Your muscles are not full. When you are flat, you will look fat. So you do not want to be flat. You don't want to be undercarbed up. You want to have a surplus of glycogen in your glycogen in your muscles, and glycogen in itself is going to be directly correlated to the water that you are drinking and the carbohydrates that you are consuming. If you are not drinking water, you are not going to fill out properly, which is why I seriously recommend keeping your water intake levels the same leading up to show day. And then the only time when you would make any sort of adjustments to your water is if you are about to step on stage. You don't obviously want to drink a ton of water and then not be able to pull a vacuum or, you know, flex your abs as well as you could have on stage. Because the truth is, your body has anti-diuretic hormones that studies have shown that these hormones are released within 24 hours after decreasing water. So what does that mean? It means that your body will hold on to more water within 24 hours after it realized that you're not drinking as much water. So what does that mean? It means that you can't cut water before your show. It means that you should continue drinking the same amount of water throughout your show so that you can keep your muscles full, you keep urinating, you keep water moving through the body, because your body has a ratio balance between your subcutaneous water and your intramuscular water. You can't pull water from the subcutaneous, from the under the skin water, without pulling it from the intramuscular water as well. There's a ratio in your body that your body wants to maintain. And those anti-diuretic hormones will make sure that your body holds on to water if it senses that you are drinking less. Because, spoiler alert, if you don't drink water, you will die. So your body has evolved to make yourself very, very keen to how much water it is letting in and out of your body. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the thumbs up. Drop a comment down below if you really liked it. Let me know what other videos you guys would like to see. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. I appreciate all of the support over the past couple weeks. I hope you guys are enjoying all of the shorts. I hope they're providing a lot of value. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace.